Hi. Welcome to the last video of the Monopoly Imperfect Competition chapter. Well, as you can see, I'm not anymore in my garden because basically it's too windy. It has become too windy. I was afraid you might not be able to hear me. It's a bit dark here, so I'm sorry for that. Maybe I should open the window. Probably this is better this way. Anyway, so at least you can see the screen, I believe. So let's start with where we have left, which is basically the outcome of the monopolistic competition. Well, as we have already seen in the last part, in the monopolistic competition, we were expecting to basically have our demand curve tangent to the long-run average cost curve. And based with the demand and the cost structure, monopolistic competition also ended up in a position where, at least according to the within the given limited market, let's say conditions and the efficiency conditions defined by the mainstream economics, we have concluded a self-sufficient institution could not do better than a typical profit maximizing neoclassical company in case of monopolistic competition, as well as just like the perfect competition. Note that, however, if the demand were flatter, it would be possible to decrease the, in that case, the market will turn to a perfectly competitive market. And that would allow us to decrease the price and increase the quantity. So, in that sense, let's compare actually two markets. This is the perfectly competitive market on the right side, and then you have the let me go a little bit more down, and then you have the monopolistic competition on the left side. I don't know, probably you see the same way. You see the screen in the so my the way you look to me is reversed, but the way you'll see the screen is just like I see the screen, I believe. So, as you see, this would be the imperfect competition market. So, with the perfect competition, we increase our quantity and we also decrease our price. So, can we say the perfect competitive market superior to the imperfect competition? Maybe, maybe not. If we are talking about the basic need, which is not produced enough, and in that sense, maybe the differences are very little, not so important. For example, healthcare. I don't know. If most people are not able to access to healthcare, increasing the quantity of the healthcare and decreasing the price might be something very important. And however, well, you note also the imperfect the monopolistic competition also has an advantage, and that advantage is the variety of the products. So you have differences between the products, and these differences with the products might also maybe help to improve the quality of the products. And as these differences of the products become more and more sphere, and here not that we are not talking about the actual physical differences. The real important thing is the perception of the differences. If people are thinking that all cars that are sold are more or less the same, for them, if them the differences are not important, they just look to the price. In that case, the car market might look like that, even if the cars are as different as they are today. On the other hand, if the people think that the cars are very much different from each other, so if I want to buy a BMW, I want to buy BMW and nothing else strictly. In that case, the demand curve will be steeper, because now BMW is not something that is replaceable. So even if price is high, I will buy the BMW, not another car. Um, so as the from the perception of the people, the goods that are sold by different producers become more similar, more substitutable. The demand curve will become flatter, and that will basically increase the quantity and decrease the price. Um, so if they are exactly the same, in that case, then the demand will be completely horizontal, and we will reach to the lowest possible price level and highest possible quantity level produced by a company. However, when we are reaching to this level, we are losing the variety. So if for us in any market variety is important, I don't know, maybe for the clothing market, for example, I don't know, or for the movies, if the variety is important, in that case, well, by passing from this market, the perfectly competitive market, to the monopolistic competition, we are gaining something that is variety. But for us, the variety is not important. If the differences between healthcare services is not important, when you got a heart operation, for example, there's the important thing is being able to access to heart operation as cheap as possible. Not the color of the maybe hospital is not important for you. In that case, you might rather maybe try to move to this direction. But anyway, so the market in this case will be determined by the people's preferences of the differences between the products. So if when they put more importance to those differences, the market move into this direction. When they put less importance to the differences, the market will move to this direction. So in that sense, we have two solutions which are more or less, well, these are the solutions where interaction to the market, both of these cases, the interaction to the markets doesn't produce any better results. So market still produces the best possible results in both of these cases. And as I said, both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. Actually, this one has one advantage, this one has another advantage. So this is the end of our monopoly chapter, and with this also we have ended the microeconomics chapter. Let me go through the practice questions. I'm looking also to the time. If we have no time left, then we might basically have another video. But let's try to do it. So this is the first practice question. This is basically how does supply curve of a monopoly look like? Well, monopolies don't have supply curves, as I have mentioned before. Why do they don't have the supply curve? Because supply curves are defined by the producers, who know how much product they will supply for each different price, independent of the buyer's preferences or buyer's actions. So in that sense, the buyers and sellers were interacting through the price mechanism. But the monopolies, the price is not the only factor. They were also caring for the shape of the demand curve. In that case, we don't have independent supply quantity supply preferences for each different price, which means monopolies don't have the supply curve. So the second question: draw the marginal cost, average variable cost, short-run average total cost curve, average revenue curve, and marginal revenue curve for a monopoly that is making loss. Let me just show you a drawn version. Here it is. So this monopoly okay, this is the average total cost curve, this is the marginal cost curve, this is the demand curve, this is the marginal revenue curve, and this is the amount of loss made by the company. Well, average variable cost curve is somewhere, you can draw anywhere. It can be here. It should be somewhere on the increasing section of the marginal cost curve. So you should go a little bit above, not immediately above, but a little bit above, and you should make sure that it is getting the difference between the average variable cost and average cost curve gets smaller as you approach to the as you increase the quantity produced. Okay. We have done that once. Make them small. Oh, average revenue and margin revenue. Let me also show that. Okay, on this graph, the marginal revenue is this one. It is mentioned. Average revenue curve is the demand. Remember, the demand was also representing the average revenue in case of a monopoly, because the price for each quantity, price was equal to the average revenue earned by the company. And in order to see why, look the previous sections of this topic, video sections I have covered. So, write an example of product differentiation. Well, one example might be the barbers who are talking, because when the barbers are talking, in that case, for you, the experience you have in a particular barber shop will be different from another barber shop. But another example is, for example, Coca-Cola's advertisement, where they say drinking Coca-Cola is a much different experience than the experience you have in another drinking another drink, because of the unique tastes that you cannot find in other types of drinks. But another example might be, for example, the detergents, who say, okay, all detergents look similar, but this detergent is able to remove the stains much better than the other ones, or this detergent is saving you water, for example, I don't know, or this washing machine. These are all examples of the product differentiation. So you should say, my product might look similar, but it is different, actually, kind of different. What is a cartel? Well, this question was on the oligopoly. I decided to leave that just for fun. This is a very simple. Actually, it's not going too far off. You might basically look what cartel is and what it means for the economics. I'm leaving that question, the answer of the question, to you. I won't ask this question, so you don't need to worry on this question coming on the exam. But if you are interested, just look for the answer. What is the difference between the long-run equilibrium of the perfectly competitive market and market with monopolistic competition? Well, we have seen here. In case of the perfectly competitive market, the quantity produced by a company is higher and price will become lower than the long-run outcome of the monopolistic competition. However, in the monopolistic competition, the variety of the products in perception of the people who buy those products is higher. Well, lastly, I think I can answer this question. Let's calculate the profit maximizing output level for this, let's say, case. So the 20 is the profit maximizing quantity, 6 is the average revenue, 4 is the average costs. So 6 minus 4, 2 is the profit per unit produced, but we have produced 20 units. So in total, the profit is 20 times 2, which is 40. So the answer is 40 in this case. And this area is the profit, symbolizes the profit. So this is end of the monopoly chapter. I have 15 seconds left, so I hope to see you in the next topic and next series of the videos. See you up to then. Stay healthy.